What if you could get all the power, speed, and freshness of Arch Linux, but without the headaches? No complicated setup, no spending hours configuring your system, and definitely no scary command line installation. Well, that's exactly what Manjaro Linux claims to offer. It says it is the Linux that empowers people and organizations. Taking the raw power and flexibility of Arch Linux and making it more accessible for a greater audience, meaning it's supposed to give you the Arch experience in a way that's stable, beginner friendly, and easy to live with every day. But is that true? Does Manjaro actually deliver on that promise? I've been using it as my daily driver to find out, and in this video, I'll be breaking it all down. In the Linux world, most distros are part of a family tree. Ubuntu and Linux Mint come from Debian Fedora, and others come from Red Hat Manjaro comes from Arch Linux. Each family has its own philosophy, and Arch's philosophy is very different from Debian's. Rolling release versus point release. Why it matters. Debian-based distros use point releases. That means new versions every few months or years. Stability first older but well-tested software Arch, on the other hand, is a rolling release. Constant updates, new kernels, and software arrive fast. More cutting edge but potentially riskier, Manjaro sits right in the middle. It delays Arch updates just long enough to test them, so you still get new features but with fewer surprises. All right, so let's talk about how to download Manjaro. It's super straightforward. Just head over to the official website, manjaro.org. Once you're there, click on the download button. Manjaro comes in 3 main official flavors, and each one is designed for a different type of user. First, you have KDE Plasma. This one is sleek, modern, and super customizable. If you love tweaking your desktop, changing animations, themes, layouts, Plasma is perfect for you. It feels premium, and it's great for people who want the most polished experience. Next is XFCE. This is the lightweight and efficient option. It uses the least amount of system resources, so it's great for older hardware, low-spec laptops, or anyone who just wants a fast and responsive system without the extra visual effects. Then there's GNOME, clean, simple, and designed to stay out of your way. It has a minimal, modern workflow that focuses on productivity. If you want something that just works with a smooth, distraction-free experience, GNOME is the way to go. And if none of those match your style, Manjaro also has a huge list of community editions. Things like Cinnamon, i3, and Sway. Basically, no matter how you work or what hardware you have, there's a flavor of Manjaro that fits you. For this video, I'm going with the KDE Plasma Edition. Once you click the download button, the ISO file starts downloading immediately. Super simple. If you want more options, you can also click on More. There, you'll find the option to download Manjaro using a torrent, which is great if you want a faster or more reliable download. You'll also see something called the Minimal ISO. This is basically a stripped down version of Manjaro with fewer pre-installed apps. It's perfect for DIY lovers who want to build their system from the ground up. But for this video, I'm sticking with the full version because it comes with everything you need right out of the box. Once your download is complete, the next step is to create a bootable USB. You can use tools like Balena Etcher or Rufus. Both are super easy. Just select the Manjaro image, pick your USB drive, and hit flash. After that, plug the USB into your computer and boot from it. And right away, you'll notice something really nice. Manjaro gives you a boot with proprietary drivers option. If you're using an NVIDIA graphics card, this is a lifesaver. It installs the proper drivers from the start, which means no black screens, no glitches, and no extra troubleshooting later. After you boot from the USB, you'll be taken into something called the live environment. This is basically a fully working version of Manjaro that runs directly from your USB drive. Nothing is installed on your computer yet. It lets you test the system, check your hardware, and explore the desktop before you commit to installing it. Once you're ready to install Manjaro, just launch the installer. The icon is usually right there on the desktop or in the welcome screen. The installer itself is very beginner friendly. First, you'll choose your language and region. Then you'll pick your keyboard layout, your time zone, and finally how you want to partition your disk. If you're new to Linux, the automatic partitioning option is the easiest, and Manjaro will handle everything for you. After that, you'll create your username and password. Next, select the Office suite you want, or you can select the No Office suite and install later if you want. Review your settings and hit install. The process is straightforward. The installer copies the system to your drive, sets up your bootloader, and configures everything automatically. Once it's done, you just restart your computer, remove the USB, and boom, you're now running Manjaro Linux on your machine. When you finally boot into Manjaro, the first thing you'll see is the welcome screen. This is really helpful, especially if you're new to the system. One of the most useful buttons here is the Applications button. When you click on it, Manjaro shows you a clean list of software categories, things like web browsers, email clients, office suites, multimedia tools, and more. It actually tells you what's already installed on your system and what additional apps you can install. All you have to do is tick the boxes for the apps you want, then click Update System. Manjaro will automatically install everything for you. It's a simple way to customize your setup right from the start without hunting through menus or using the terminal. But the real magic is in Manjaro's own tools. Let's talk about those. In your menu, you'll find something called Add Remove Software. This is PAMAC, Manjaro's graphical software manager, and it's one of the easiest ways to install apps on any Linux distro. When you open it, PAMAC automatically checks Manjaro's official repositories for the latest updates. After that, using it is simple. Just type the name of the app you want or even a short keyword. Hit find and boom, everything related to your search shows up. You can click on any result to see more details instantly. What it does, its version, and more. And installing or removing apps is literally just clicking buttons. It makes managing software feel as easy as using an app store. What I really like about PAMAC is that it doesn't just rely on the search bar. If you prefer browsing visually, you can search software by categories, groups, or repositories. Categories are perfect if you're not sure what the app is called. You can explore sections like music and audio, graphics, utilities, development, basically an app store style layout. Groups let you dive into collections of related packages like Manjaro tools or other grouped components. This is more for advanced users who want to install entire sets of tools at once. And then you've got repositories. This lets you browse software directly from Manjaro's different repos, like core, extra, community, or multilib. It's an easy way to see exactly where your software is coming from. But here's where it gets even better. Inside PAMAC's preferences, you can actually enable the AUR, the Arch User Repository. This gives you access to thousands of user-made packages that aren't in the official repos. Basically, if it exists on Linux, it's probably in the AUR. You can also enable Flatpak support with a single click. That opens the door to apps from FlatHub, giving you even more software options sandboxed, universal, and always up to date. So yeah, Manjaro doesn't just give you one way to install software, it gives you every way. Now let's talk about the Manjaro settings manager. This is where Manjaro really separates itself from most other distros. The settings manager gives you a clean, easy to use GUI for things that normally require terminal commands. For example, you can install and switch between multiple kernels with just a couple of clicks. No command line, no complicated steps. Just pick the kernel you want and install it. It also handles your graphics drivers. Whether you need open source drivers or proprietary ones, especially for NVIDIA cards, Manjaro makes it simple. You just open the hardware configuration section and it will detect your hardware and offer the best drivers for your system. Everything is laid out in one place, so managing your hardware and low-level system settings becomes super easy, even if you're a beginner. Now let's move on to the system settings, the main control center of your Manjaro KDE Plasma desktop. This is where you customize almost everything about how your system looks, feels, and behaves. KDE Plasma's system settings is one of the most powerful in the Linux world, but it's also organized really well, so even beginners won't feel lost. Here's what you can do inside. Input devices manage your keyboard layout, mouse behavior, touchpad gestures, and even touchscreen controls if you have one. Display and monitor. Configure your screen resolution, multiple monitors, refresh rates, night color mode, and scaling for high DPI displays. Network. Set up Wi-Fi, VPNs, proxies, and connections with a clean, simple interface. Appearance. Change your themes, icons, fonts, cursors, window styles, and even global color schemes. KDE is all about customization, and this section makes it super easy. Workspace behavior. Adjust how your desktop acts. Things like virtual desktops, screen edges, window management, and animations. Power management. Adjust sleep settings, screen brightness rules, battery profiles, and more. Especially useful for laptops. Audio. Easily switch between speakers, headphones, HDMI outputs, Bluetooth audio, and adjust per app volume controls. User settings. Change your password, avatar, and user account details. Everything is laid out in clear categories, so whether you want to change your wallpaper or configure a multi-monitor setup, the System Settings panel makes it straightforward. The default file manager in KDE is called Dolphin. When you open it, everything is laid out clearly, your folders on the left and your files on the right, making navigation easy even if you're completely new to Linux. What makes Dolphin really stand out is how powerful it feels without being complicated. You can open multiple tabs just like a web browser, or even split the window into two sections so you can drag files from one side to the other without having to open new windows. Searching for files is fast and accurate. Hovering over images gives you quick previews, and right-clicking gives you a ton of ready-to-use actions like compressing, extracting, or opening a terminal directly in that folder. It's simple when you need it to be, but packed with features when you want to do more. Now, moving over to the application menu, this is your main entry point for launching apps on Manjaro KDE Plasma. The menu is clean and very easy to get used to. It's arranged in categories like Internet, Multimedia, Office, Settings, and more. So everything feels organized from the moment you start using it. You don't even have to dig through menus if you don't want to. Just click the menu and start typing, and the app you're looking for appears immediately. The menu also lets you pin your favorite app, so they're always just one click away. And like everything in KDE, it can be customized. You can resize it, switch to a different style, or even use a full screen launcher if that fits your workflow better. Everything is smooth, fast, and designed to stay out of your way while still giving you full control. One thing I absolutely love about Manjaro is the wiki and the community behind it. If you're ever stuck, confused, or just curious about how something works, the Manjaro wiki is packed with guides that are actually easy to understand. It covers everything: installation, drivers, kernels, hardware tips, software tweaks, troubleshooting steps, and more. And it's written in a way that doesn't make beginners feel lost. It's honestly one of the best starting points if you're new to Arch-based systems. And then there's the community, which is a huge part of why Manjaro feels so welcoming. The Manjaro forums are extremely active, and people are genuinely helpful. You don't get that negativity that some other Linux communities are known for. Whether you're having an issue after an update, looking for software recommendations, or trying to customize your desktop, someone out there has already asked the same question, and chances are someone has already answered it in detail. Plus, because Manjaro is based on Arch, you're not limited to just Manjaro resources. You can also take advantage of the massive Arch wiki. Almost every problem you can think of has a solution documented there. Combine that with Manjaro's own guides and supportive community, and you really never feel stuck. Now let's talk about gaming. Because honestly, Linux gaming has never been this good, and Manjaro takes full advantage of it. The beauty of a rolling release distro like Manjaro is that you're always running the latest kernels, the newest Mesa versions, and up-to-date graphics drivers, and that alone gives you a noticeable performance boost in many games. Steam works flawlessly on Manjaro. The moment you install it from the software manager, Proton is ready to go. If you're into tweaking or want even better performance, you can install different kernels directly from the Manjaro settings manager. And because this is an Arch-based system, all the newest gaming tools, things like Mango HUD, Game Mode, Lutris, Heroic Launcher, are just a click away in the AUR. Now let's talk about the terminal. And don't worry, this isn't the scary part people make it out to be. Even though Manjaro gives you tons of graphical tools to handle everyday tasks, like installing software, updating your system, or managing drivers, there will still be times when the terminal is the fastest or most reliable way to get something done. That's especially true if you're troubleshooting or customizing your system beyond the basics. Most of the guides you'll find on the Manjaro wiki, and even the massive Arch wiki, show solutions using terminal commands. Not because Linux is complicated, but because the terminal gives you direct control and lets you perform tasks cleanly and predictably. Once you learn a few basic commands, you start to realize it's actually a super powerful tool that makes things easier, not harder. And if you're curious about how Manjaro really works under the hood, or you want to push your system further, learning the terminal opens up a whole new level of flexibility. It's like going from being a regular user to having full admin powers. But again, you don't need to be an expert to start. Just follow the guides, take it one command at a time, and you'll be surprised how quickly it becomes second nature. So yeah, the terminal is there when you need it, and it's absolutely worth learning. And with the wiki and the community backing you up, you're never learning alone. So is Manjaro just a simplified Arch? Kind of. But in many areas, it's actually better for everyday users. Manjaro's Calamars installer makes installation super easy. Updates are tested before you get them. You get sane defaults, a ready-to-use desktop, and tools that save time, without losing the power Arch is known for. Should you try Manjaro? If you want a system that gives you customization, fresh software, rolling updates, and the freedom to shape your desktop however you want, Manjaro is absolutely worth trying. It's perfect if you're bored with Ubuntu or Debian and want something more exciting. It's also a great stepping stone toward Arch if you ever want to go that route. If you found this breakdown helpful, give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more Linux content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.